so you know it's fine. First you meet my parents, then I say my family. I'm liking this Cantonese boy.
Come on.
Cantonese. Take me on a deep to Chinatown. Take me to the deep, I'll tell you close lately.
I really want to.
Come get it with you. You ain't not Cantonese.
Here's where you guys come in. Put your hands up and sing la la la.
La 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 la.
Come on, you know the words. La 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 la. La 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 la.
You ain't not Cantonese boy.
Sing it again, girl. Come on.
Let's celebrate the sweet thing. It's Chinese New Year. We can get rid of the lost from our lips this year. Let's get it for honey. Cruise around the hood. And wait till
Cool down, down. I know you got a cool sound. No more fooling around. You got me time to settle down. Be crazy, I know what you're thinking. Just another rapper that wishes was a singer, engineer, and actor. Teaching Tai Chi to the rest of the factor. But your impression of this Chinese lesson, blessing all these people. You know that I'm not messing up. Do something with lots of joy. Not Japanese, so I don't eat koi. Don't call me your toy son boy. You know it's true, I'm a Cantonese boy.
take me on a date to Chinatown. Take me to the deep, I'll tell you close lately.
I really want to.
Come get it with you. You be my Cantonese boy. My Cantonese boy. So, if you don't know, we're married. Yes.
Oh yeah, we should probably. I should at least remember that.
And right now, I'm actually going to go off stage to get the product of our marriage.
No, okay, we're gonna bring up little one. And so I am a Cantonese boy. I'm also an American boy, but we made an American-born Chinese right here. We call her our ABC. We thought we'd take a little spin on this next song. You guys might be a little familiar with it.
I'm just kind of curious on the audience. How many of you are also American-born Chinese like us in the audience?
We call us ABCs.
Yeah.
Is this the first time? How many of you never heard the term ABC, American-born Chinese, ever before? Never heard of that? Okay, cool. Well, then if you've never heard of that before, maybe we'll teach you a little something.
Yeah, we'll teach you a little something about being American-born Chinese.
All right, here we go.
Baby, went to school you, never things we never learned before.
I like my boyfriend in Mississippi.
Not so much is left out of American history. And they won't want to know amazing ABCs everyone should teach.
ABC, here we go.
American-born Chinese.
We're in places like NYC, Tennessee, Kentucky, was in Miami. ABC, our heritage is Chinese. We were never born overseas. ABC, now you know our identity. Come learn a little bit. Come learn a little bit.
I'm gonna teach you what it's all about.
Football, baseball, basketball. Oh, I really love this place. Even though I love burgers and fries, I can still eat them every day.
Now, here's just a little
Chuggy, choo,
We're
choo.
architects and makers, so come get singers, actors, rappers too.
ABC, American-born Chinese, never served in the military. ABC, that's how patriotic we can be. Don't even know how to speak Chinese.
Born in the USA, let's bring speak.
Speaking English perfectly, we're proud of our identity. We are American-born Chinese.
Moving on to the Jackson 5 and ABC, of course.
Yeah, for a little
A
while.
little bit fun. One more time for little one. And guys, we'll see little one again later. How many of you would like to see little one again later? She was a pro with a little microphone issue, but she was a trooper. Well, one of the things I wanted to share is a little bit about the history of this heritage that we hear in the Mississippi Delta, the Chinese. Now, you're gonna watch the film later on Far East Deep South if you haven't seen it before at 3 p.m. And many of you are living examples of that history, having been and grown up in the Delta. And one of the things that we learned when we were doing research for our film is that there were a lot of people from the Delta that read comic books. And it was almost a form of escapism from the discrimination, the difficulties of life. How many of you have always wanted to be a superhero? Yes, Larissa, okay. And so I want to show you a little graphic. There is somebody that is one of you Chinese American natives here from Greenville, Mississippi, Sam Chu Lin, and he is in this comic right here. I don't know if you know, how cool is that? So Sam Chu Lin is from Greenville, Mississippi, and he was featured in a comic of Superman. Now, Sam Chu Lin was one of the first Asian American national broadcasters on the news, and eventually made his way to California. And he loved comic books so much so that he's passed on his love to his sons, especially his older son Mark, who loves to cosplay. And so this is just another example of kind of the history of the Delta and the importance of kind of pop culture. I know personally, I always wanted to be Wonder Woman. And I need a volunteer. The song I'm going to share next, I wrote a song about wanting to be Wonder Woman and thinking about a Superman to help me change the world. So is there a volunteer in the audience, maybe somebody who's on the younger side of things, who wants to be a volunteer to come up on stage and be my Superman? Both of you, why don't you come up? Yeah, give you both keys. Come on up. Give him a round of applause, encouragement here. Oh, let's come first. Okay. Come up. And we'll find out. I'm going to come down and meet them. It's going to take them a while to get down here. And let's find out what their needs are. Let's bring them up here. So, we like to go to Comic-Con every single year. And come on up. Now, look at what pretty dress you are. Okay, so, let me find out. Is it your birthday today? It is her birthday today! What is your name? Selma? Selma, now happy birthday to you. And is this your brother? And what's your name? Jeremy. Now how do you spell your name? S-U-M-M-E-R. Are we still considered summer? Is it still summer right now? It's still summer. So it's your birthday, it's your season, it's everything. Okay, well come on over here, Summer. And come over here, Jeremy. All right. So, who are your favorite superheroes? Spider-Girl. She's a good one. How about you? Spider-Man. You got a spider family, and mom and dad are definitely spider mom and spider dad, right? Okay. Well, you guys are going to pretend to be a superhero. It could be Superman, it could be Supergirl, all right, during the song. And so just follow me, and you can do some superhero moves, okay? Got it? All right. Can you give it up for Summer and Jeremy? Let's get it. Can you dance a little bit with me? Do you ever want to be more than a see? Not just someone who is average or ordinary, but someone who is great. Why don't you see some superhero moves? All right. Our little superheroes. And let's on 1, 2, 3 say happy birthday to Summer. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Summer. Hope this is a memorable birthday for you. Okay. Thank you. One more time.
All right, give it up. Summer, Jeremy, and our Wonder Woman, Larissa. Thank you. All right. So things are just crazy here, right? I mean, we love coming back here, and then I gotta tell you a story. Yesterday, I got bit by a spider in my eye. So it was like puffy this morning, and I was like, "Ayya, this is crazy, ayya." Who says ayya? Has anyone ever said ayya before? So for me, this morning I was like, hey, my eye, it's like puffy. So I called Coop, and he told his dad's an optometrist or an eye doctor, and he's like, oh yeah, put some ice on it, and take some Zyrtec, and hey, I can see. So, anyways, I'm gonna play this next song, and Orbit. Hey, I was gonna hit that. Yo, DJ Orbit. Okay, so I was gonna do the song, but I don't know where Orbit went. I thought okay. So let's see, how does this work? You think I can figure this out? Yeah. You think so? Let's see. What's this button do? Ooh.
Help me, Obi-Wan. Help.
Resist the dark side, you must, yes.
Alright, that's an out of orbit. I don't even know what I need these days. You fired? Where'd you go, Orbit? Went to get some food from outside? Are you ready to get back to work? Alright, well, see, I'm always saying "Ayah" to him because how many people say "Ayah" all the time? So, like he said, "Ayah, Orbit, where were you?" I say it all the time. In fact, we did a song. I'm going to need your help because you guys need to say "Ayah" with me, okay? You can do that? Because when crazy things happen, what we learned about in all of our history was this crazy history happened, and we not only learned about the Chinese here in Mississippi, but we learned about the Chinese in Jamaica and the Caribbean. So I wrote a little song. It's kind of Jamaican, I would like to say. I'm going to bring Larissa back out here to help me with this. And I'm going to need your help too. So I need you guys to say "Ayah." Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Ayah. I think
You're having a bad day, say "Ayah."
All right, let's try this.
Something crazy going on in your life, say "Ayah."
All right, let's see if you can. We'll get this together, okay? So everyone take a deep breath. You're gonna watch the cue. You're gonna watch the screen. You're gonna watch Larissa, okay? So we're gonna try one more time, and then you guys take it away on the song. You guys got it? I'm gonna need your help. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Ayah.
I need a little louder than that. Come on. 1, 2, 3, go.
Ayah.
Make sure you almost got it. Make sure you come into the song before you're done. Solo, we can't use our multiple jingle.
Ayah.
They don't have to know. I think I'm going to talk about this with solo, we can't use our multiple.
Here we go. Ayah.
They don't have to know. I think I'm going to talk about this with you're the person I'm a soul. That means that I'm crazy. You're also sound of a crazy child. Come on, here we go. Doing crazy things because you know it on the come. Doing like a disc, doing like a cat. Crazy insane. Well, I don't know about that. Woman to the last person, I'll say I'm no way. Golden is the days and I live like a baby. Born from Jamaica, people love to hate you. Crazy child making you can say from Jamaica. Give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, U.S. speakers. We got the German part right here. 네, 이렇게 하면서 마마테가 멋지다고 내신 거지. 내가 솔로 레이버 솔로 하드를 어떻게 있죠? 네, 이렇게 하면서 마마테가 멋지다고 내신 거지. 오케이, 我觉得上期我有其他，有些不同的人特别让我充满我满妈。Cause I'm ABC and American or Chinese, not from overseas and I'm not Japanese, Vietnamese, Filipino, Thai or Korean. People get confused at times because they think we're all the same, but we're not, as you can see, because most can understand. This my religious speech, I make it easy, won't comprehend. Alright, and this goes. Let me hear you. There you go. So, Mama Tanga goes in the nation, which is all I got solo, yeah.
Very good.
Mama Tanga goes in the nation, which is all. Oh, so now you guys know what to say whenever there's something bothering you. If you have nothing else to say, you don't know what to say, you just say. Oh, that's music to my ears.
It's what his father said to him when he found out he wanted to be a rapper. Your dad said. True story, actually.
That is actually a true story.
And you'll meet his dad when you watch Parties Deep South if you haven't seen the film already. Are we ready to bring out the little one again?
All right, what's the little one?
So we mentioned that the history of Chinese is actually quite deep. Sometimes we only learn about building the railroads here in the United States. But as Baldwin mentioned, there were Chinese in the Caribbean, that were brought out in the 1800s as well. In addition to, of course, the Chinese that came here in the 1800s to the Mississippi Delta and many of the other neighboring states. But there's so much more Asian American history that we don't learn in our history books. So we decided that in 3 minutes we would try to share as much of it as we could possibly do.
How much can we actually put in 3
I
minutes?
don't know, we're going to try to put in a lot. How many of you are Hamilton fans?
Anybody watch Hamilton?
Hamilton, right. You may recognize the song. The song is originally the Schuyler Sisters, but we put our own twist for Asian American history. This is Asian Americans Make History. Here we go.
3 minutes. There's something that our country needs more than learning our history and who came to our shores. The first Asians came to this land in 1587, broke their backs, working with their hands, indentured servants, and even slaves. But quietly this country was paid. Exclusion laws tried to suppress and kick us. We fought for you, America, all we did was work.
In the mines, plantation,
Yes, I feel.
history's
They
learning.
brought us here,
Needed us.
so we can.
History says that we didn't do much. History doesn't really know. People say history can't be touched, but there's a lot it doesn't show. Look around, the revolution's happening around us. History's work, standing up, people say we don't belong. People shouting in the square.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. Don't create people.
Look around, what we are behind right now. History is happening, it's been happening,
It's happening. Start this country in the world. Start this country in the world.
Work.
So this last song, we really want to challenge you, and we want you guys to feel free to move around. So I'm going to ask you all to stand up for one last song.
If you're able.
If you're able, because we want to send you off with a purpose. We want to send you off saying that you guys can do anything. You can turn this world around to make this place a better place. Because I think that's ultimately why we're all here today, is to say, hey, there's so much diversity in this country. We love music. Music brings us together, but we can all use what we have to make this world a better place. So come on, stand up with us. DJ, over, take that next song. And I'm going to need your help on this one too, okay? If you can stand up, great. If not, you still need to do this. Put your hands up in the air, like this. Ready, and bounce. Come on, you got it. There we go. Bounce, there we go. Yeah. I like it. Like this room. There we go.
Turn it upside down, turn it all around. Turn it around, change right and sound. Turn it upside down, turn it all around.
Some of the superheroes fly in the sky and save the whole world, then living alive. No more laughing till you're silly and you're out of your mind. And the more that we cry, the more living in a nation that is under the soul. Even before we have more in the country next door. No more hating on the sister or on anyone else. Come on, give it the brother for the sake of yourself. Come on, give him an official, he can keep on the game. The teacher man, the vision before we send him on his way. We can all make that decision individually and change the world for the better. Eventually, we're right now, strong.
Turn the world around.
You got it.
Change the light and sound. Turn it upside down. Turn it all around.
People within, when it's in front of your face, on the tip of your skin, shouldn't be an opinion. When it comes to trading, shouldn't trust in my enemy. Come back and help me. Love all the ones that hate will set us all apart, but love them all the higher up is where it's gotta start. So let's come on, turn this. Come on.
Turn this world around.
From the top to the bottom, inside out to the end, we're gonna
Turn it
do that, turn.
Turn this world around.
Yeah.
Change the look and sound.
There we go.
Turn it upside down. Turn it all around. Turn this world around. Change the light and sound.
After that set on this crazy journey that your family ended up discovering about their history here.
And please stay afterwards. We're going to have a little conversation here, and we'd love to hear from you and get some Q&A and have just a nice little discussion here with you guys. Just kind of reminisce on the memories. I have so many great memories since coming here for the first time 9 years ago. I'm just excited to share this with you. We tried to bring this, like you said earlier, and then the pandemic happened, and we had so many other things that just prevented us from coming back. So I'm just glad we were able to do this alongside with the events that were going on with the Mississippi Delta Chinese Heritage Museum that was also going on this weekend. I'm glad we have people from all over the country here to celebrate this city, this town, this region, and this community.
And we want to thank the Grammy Museum and also the Asian American Foundation for helping to sponsor this event. And we hope you'll sit back and relax and enjoy our journey in Far East Deep South.
Larissa Lamb is the director of the award-winning documentary Far East Deep South and recipient of the Mary Pickford Award. Mary Pickford.
Yes, that's great company.
It is indeed. Yes, indeed it is.
And there's many people out there going, wow, she knows who Mary Pickford is?
The Mary Pickford Award for Outstanding Achievement in Filmmaking. Over the past 2 decades, Larissa has been a creative force in music, film, and TV. She's a proud UCLA Bruin. I am too. From Diamond Bar, California. An accomplished singer-songwriter and composer, Larissa's song I Feel Alive won a Hollywood Music and Media Award, and she has written music for film and TV shows like The Oprah Winfrey Show. I did that too. Not for Oprah Winfrey, but I did sitcoms way back in the early 1980s. She has been featured in USA Today, NBC News, LA Times, and more. She is also an experienced TV, radio host who currently hosts the podcast Love, Discovery, and Dim Sum, discussing Asian American perspectives on race and culture alongside her husband, Baldwin Chiu, and his family are the subjects of Far East Deep South, which made its broadcast premiere on PBS World Channel's America Reframed series and won a 2022 Philly Award. His family story has been featured on CBS News, the Boston Globe, and NPR. In addition to being a producer, Chiu is a rapper and beatboxer known by his MC name, Only One, who has gained recognition for his viral videos, Cantonese Boy, 12 Days of Dim Sum, and Asian Americans Make History. Chiu's original songs were featured in the video game Sleeping Dogs and the film Dead Man Down. Chiu travels the U.S. speaking on race and Asian American identity at Fortune 500 companies, universities, and community organizations. So, welcome please, Larissa Lamb and Baldwin Chiu.
Thank you so much. So before we start our conversation, Charlie, we want to acknowledge several people that are here that are actually an integral part of our film that many of you may have seen on screen. And so we just want to have a nice little deck out there. If anyone and all our cats, if you were on screen or your voice was heard, Gabriella saying is still here, if you're able to, if you could please stand.
Stand.
We'd love to acknowledge you.
Acknowledge all of you.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, raise
Or raise your hand.
raise your hand. And Cooper was also here running camera today. And the town of Pace over here represented. And then we'd also just like to acknowledge, and we saw the in memoriam at the end, and that was clearly made a few years ago, when sadly in the last year or two we've lost many other additional members of our esteemed South family. And so, we definitely have them in our hearts.
I want to remember them here too.
Yes.
So I know all of you folks have a lot of questions today. I'm going to ask a couple, and then we're just going to kind of open it up and to let you guys ask anything that you want to ask. And my first question, actually, I have several that I really want to know about, but
We'll answer the best we can.
before we talk about the movie, why don't we talk about you a little bit? How did you two guys run into each other?
Oh, my story.
How much time do you have?
She stalked me on this thing called MySpace. You guys remember MySpace?
Oh, yeah.
She stalked me on MySpace.
Ladies, so I hope you're on my side. I didn't stalk you.
Well, she hit me up on
It's completely
MySpace.
professional.
Professional.
A friend of mine had a friend of her gave her a CD of his, and I noticed his producer on his first album, Maximilian, actually was a good friend of mine. He used to work at a record label with me and was in a singing group called Nitro Praise with me. So I just messaged him to say, hey, I'm Maximilian Chiu. It's always good to know another fellow Asian. There were so few of us that were in entertainment, especially in the music side, that it was just good to connect professionally.
And then she said, will you go on a date with me?
No.
And I said, okay, let me think about
Then
it.
he lured me
I'll think
up
about it.
for a concert a year later. Lured me, oh yeah, you didn't ask me on a date, you asked me to do a whole concert.
I want to make sure she was a good, good performer.
And then our mutual friend Maximilian ended up playing, it was like junior high. He went up to me and said, I think Baldwin's interested in you, but doesn't think you're interested. And then, unbeknownst to me,
He said the same thing to me. He said, hey, Larissa likes you, but she doesn't want to say anything.
so the next thing you know, we're here sitting on the stage, 15 years of marriage later.
So it turns out my producer, Maximilian, is the king of beatbox. He was a West Coast champion, this international world finalist, and then he was like, I'll teach you how to beatbox if you teach me how to do Tai Chi.
So
Yeah.
that's how you got into it.
That's how I got into beatboxing. Yeah.
Right. Well, we kind of joke. A lot of times there's a lot of, Asian or Chinese aunties love to match make, or there's. we got match made by a young black man. At the time he was young. He's not young anymore, but he's the same age as us. But yeah, he was.
This mic is
the least likely matchmaker. Bust all stereotypes.
You take this one, and I'll take this one. Hello. I don't care if I'm not hurt, nobody cares. I'm not important here. That was great.
I actually did. So you want to hear something funny on top of that? I spent 20 years on the music side of my business. Most of my credits were on the music side, and it wasn't until I came to Cleveland, Mississippi, almost exactly 9 years ago, September 25th, in 2014, when you saw there, we blindly were driving down Highway 61 and had no idea where we were going, and then ended up meeting all of you wonderful people. But I wasn't a filmmaker at that point. But the odd thing is, when we got married, I actually did a mockumentary about how we met. So some of what you just heard right now went to the extreme. And when I interviewed our friends of how they knew us and that was really my first documentary, I will have to say.
Well, my next question was actually going to be about the film industry and how you might have just kind of fell into it or got involved in it here.
I think we started off in front of the camera before we went behind the camera. We were both doing music, and during that time, I decided to do some acting, and so I did that up in Northern California, and so got into acting, and then
shortly after we got married, we started, when we were making music videos, we really wanted to make music videos kind of like short films. And so we kind of put that all together. So that's kind of how I got into the front of the camera. And then, like she said, it really wasn't until we came here to Mississippi 9 years ago that we made this discovery. And it was her idea. You know, if it was up to me, I would not have actually made the documentary. I would have just kept it as a family video for ourselves. But because we had the experience being in front of the camera, and she had the vision of seeing it on a larger scale, then we said, hey, let's jump behind the camera.
Well, I thought the story, when, as you were experiencing, and I know a few of you out there have seen the movie more than once, or were there when things happened, I was like a fly on the wall going, I cannot believe these things were happening. Like, all these people were coming out of the woodwork, and the discovery of the history, since I was from California, many of you here, you grew up here, you knew this history, but for me, it was like just incredibly eye-opening to know this and realize that the rest of the country didn't know about this and needed to know about it.
Well, was the culture shock just amazing when you were driving up Highway 61?
A lot of flatland.
Yeah, I mean, now that, when I come back now, every single time I come back, I get like emotional because I keep on remembering that first visit that we had when we came here and all the great people and the great memories that we had. And it really was a culture shock because before we came out here, people would be like, oh, you didn't actually go to Mississippi? Like, man, you better be careful. You don't know what you're going to find over there. But then you hear all these things about like Southern hospitality, but like for some reason Mississippi's not part of that. I'm like, wait, So I'm not having all these mixed feelings coming here, and I'm scared, but like excited at the same time. And then when we came here, it was funny because people in California thought, oh, it's going to be weird because you're Chinese and you're going to show up in Mississippi. And then when we came here, people would say to us, is like, they would say, like, oh, it's weird that you're here, but it wasn't because I'm Chinese. Because I'm sure everyone in this room has always, understood that there were Chinese people here. So people said to us, what are you guys doing here? And it wasn't because we're Chinese, they said, like, y'all from California? What are you doing here? You're from California. It's not like, everyone in California thought they'd be like, are you not from China or something like that? That was not the question here. They didn't care about our race or, our ethnicity. They were like, you're from California? That was a big shock.
Yeah, not a lot. Serious piece of crap.
Oh, no. Can we get Charlie another microphone?
I need one.
Give it a shot. There you go. There it comes again.
Okay, I think we're working, maybe, for the moment. Should I not move it again? I forgot where I was. There was a lot of really interesting.
Zach or Stuart, do we have another microphone that we can give Charlie? Or we can give, I can give you mine and Baldwin and I will share.
That's all right. Because I'm going to tell you the honest truth. I grew up in the Mississippi Delta, right down the road in a little town called Leland, Mississippi. And I never heard of the Chinese Exclusion Act. Do you find that to be normal? Because I know you mentioned in there that you had never heard of it, but at the beginning.
Yeah,
they didn't teach us that in school.
They didn't teach us that in school. Now they're starting to teach that in school. In California, they actually included it. They actually had to pass a bill to include that in curriculum. Yeah, we never heard about it growing up. How many of you heard about the Chinese Exclusion Act growing up? Just a couple. Just a few like that. Good. You guys got a better education than we did. But yeah, we didn't really realize what that was.
I had to research it today to find out about it, and I was frankly completely amazed to know that even existed. Another question about, first question I have is this particular film. Your dad seemed a little reluctant to be. How did you convince him to do this and to travel? And you had to take the camera people. You must have to take a lot of people with you to do it. How did that work?
Well, the first trip, we didn't have a whole crew because we didn't know we were making the movie. So the first trip, it was just the sheer fact that we were on a family vacation. We just had our daughter. You saw her. She's there back there now, Callie. Some of you met her during the course of this trip and saw her perform earlier. She's 10 now. She's only 1. You see her like toddling around in the background. we just had a nice camera because we were taking pictures and family video for our family, right? And we've got a cute kid, we all have our cameras out. But it wasn't in the subsequent trips that we came back that, you know, we brought the crew. I will tell you this, I had to be really sneaky with Dad. So most of the footage with just his dad was just me, like on camera, because I didn't want to spook him. I mean, as much as Coop is awesome and super nice, I knew if Coop showed up with his camera, and we had another crew member too, Jason Michelle, who's from Cleveland, like it would have spooked him and he would have shut down. So it had to just be me and a camera and be much more of a natural setting. So for those filmmakers out there that are trying to capture stories of your family members in the documentary, that's my little tip to you. And then he just liked me better and opened up to me and went Baldwin. That was the other trick was.
That's actually true, because I tried, like, talking to my dad, and he would give me, like, one-word answers, and then shake his head, and then that's it. And so all the footage that you see with my dad in the film, I was not there. It was just her and my dad, and she literally kicked me out. The sit-down interviews, like, she kicked me out of the house. They're like, yeah, let me talk to your dad, because he don't like you as much.
He seemed like a very proud man, and I was kind of taken by the fact that a lot of those little interview shots were taken, and around him were his military.
Yes.
That he seemed really proud to be in the American military.
Yeah, he absolutely did. You know, I saw a little bit of his background in going into the Air Force, and for him, I think also when he found out about the Exclusion Act and some of these other, you know, injustices that were done in this country, I think it was a little. It took him a little while to process that too, because you know he served his country proudly, and he's still very proud to be American, and is very proud of his service. And so, you know, he also was trying to wrap his head around the Chinese Exclusion Act and the fact that our government could actually have passed such a discriminatory law. We know that's not the only one that has been passed historically. There's been many, many, many horrible laws that have been passed in this country. But certainly for him, that one was personal, because that as we found out, was a big factor of why his family was separated for generations.
So did you have a hard time convincing any of the other locals to appear on film?
I don't know. Were you guys hesitant in talking to us? You know,
You loved it, right?
we were so happy to meet everyone. And actually, Daryl Johnson's in the corner there. He's a former mayor of Mount Bayou, and he said something that was really, it touched my heart one time. We did a Zoom. I don't know if you remember this, but we did a Zoom interview one time, and Mayor Johnson said, "Oh, thank you for telling our story." And I remember him saying that, and I felt like taken aback. And I was like, "Oh, no, thank you for sharing your story, you know, about Mount Bayou and stuff like that." I was like, "Thank you." He goes, "No, thank you for telling our story." And I was like, "Well, how am I, like, why are you thanking me?" And he said, you correct me if I'm wrong, I'm trying to paraphrase what you said, but he said, "No, because all this time people talk about Mount Bayou as, you know, the first city that was incorporated by entire black people, right, after post-slavery." And he said, "Everyone always talks about the black community in Mount Bayou, but no one ever talks about the Chinese people in Mount Bayou." And he said the Chinese were in Mount Bayou. There was a Chinese store there, but no one ever talked about them, but that made our history in Mount Bayou incomplete. And so for us to come in and finally talk to people from the different cities, including Mount Bayou, it actually completed their story, because our story is a part of it. And I love that when he said that, because it brings me to the concept and the idea that, like, all of our stories matter so much, that my story is your story is my story. This is American history. It's not Asian American history. It's not black history. It's American history, right? All Asian American history is American history. Black history is American history. All of our history kind of intertwines, and it shows that, you know, it's like, you know, Jerry Black, you complete me. Right? We all complete each other.
Yeah, and sometimes I know with the South, you know, it is a complicated history, and you know, sometimes you want it it always feels like you're taking sides sometimes when you're telling history, but it's like all of it is history and all of it is important. And just one last little anecdote before we move on to the next question. I just remember like meeting, Cheyenne and Linda and Laverne, at the same time we met Daryl Johnson. And at the end of it, and Levon, who sadly is not with us anymore, and former Mayor Levon Jackson and Robert LaFleur, they expressed how much they were grateful that we took the time to actually talk to them and ask them. And I was like, thank you. The same day, I was like, thank you, because we didn't know if people cared enough to like share. And then of course, people like Rachel Tate, who had the flowers that his grandfather, had given her grandmother. I mean, these were all just such beautiful stories in both white and black communities, and of course the Chinese communities, the people who remembered his grandfather and great grandparents.
You just actually made a point that I was going to make about being everybody's history. And I'm sure you probably heard this from a lot of other people, but just my own self, for example, my grandparents were immigrants from Lebanon when they came over here, and they had a grocery store in Greenville. So, it's not really just a Chinese story. It seems to be a story that resonates with a lot of people. Have you found that to be true?
Yeah, the more that we research this area, one of our favorite restaurants when we come to that Lebanese restaurant in Clarksdale, and we love eating there too. So, we learned more about the Mexican community that was here and fried tamales. Where did fried tamales come from? And it really opened up this story about like how people. Growing up, I always thought of Mississippi as just black and white. And when we finally came out here, we realized, wow, there's so much more diversity here. Those stories just make the stories, everyone's story, more vibrant. And I feel like it doesn't alienate people as much if we understood that so many people were a part of that history.
So who's got questions? Who else has a question that you want to ask Baldwin and Larissa here? Oh, I know you do. Here we go.
Hi, good afternoon. I was surprised to see Miss Frida Kwan. I don't know if you remember Frida Kwan, one of the interview. Kwan, yeah.
Frida Kwan, yeah.
So are you kind of close to their family, like Jerome? And I think his brother.
Yeah.
Before.
Is that the family members here right now?
I think I saw one of the
Frida
brother.
was here earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're very close with Frida and the family now.
Jerome.
Frida is always.
And Taksu, their father, Taksu.
We didn't know their father, because I think he passed at this, but Frida was a great source of, information, and of course, she's the Southern Belle that steals all the great lines. We were really grateful for her participation.
Thank you so much.
So I know you guys have something real exciting coming up soon. Would you like to tell us about it?
Yeah, we can do this. So, and I'm going to assist up the stairs in a second, okay? So a lot of people ask us what our next documentary project is going to be. So on one hand, we are developing a project about Baldwin's mom's side of the family, because not only do we have surprises in his dad's side of the family, we only found out a few years ago that Baldwin's great-grandfather on his mom's side was a Chinese railroad worker, helped build the Transcontinental Railroad, and then ended up in Denver, Colorado, of all places. And there was a lot of anti-Chinese riots that went on in the western part of the United States. There's another whole side of history that most people don't know about that we're developing. But the one that we're working on immediately, in fact. We're going to make that announcement now. Yeah, we're going to make that announcement. We're going to get another mic. That's okay. So we are going to introduce to you the subject of our next film, Miss Virginia Wing, who's from Marks, Mississippi. She's here in the audience today. We're going to bring her up really briefly. Just to say hi. But, so for those of you who do not know Virginia Wing, she's from Marks, Mississippi, And she is an actress, she's a singer, and she has had a career in entertainment for over
She's a triple threat.
triple threat for over 60 years. And she has a wonderful story to tell, and we are so excited that she's entrusted us to tell her story, and also that of every little girl, like my daughter and myself, who didn't know she could be an actress because we didn't see our people that look like us portrayed on screen. And so we want to kind of dive into not just the history of the Mississippi Delta and what it was like to be a Chinese female growing up in the South. By the way, she was in the Miss Mississippi contest, right? So third runner-up. Yeah, she was in. So she was in the first non-white person to compete in the Miss Mississippi contest. But she's got so many wonderful stories, and of course her family was a centerpiece and heart of Marks, Mississippi, and so we are so excited. I don't know if you wanted to say anything.
No, I am honored and really honored that they even want to do a documentary about me. It's overwhelming to me. And if it's anywhere as wonderful as this is, which I'm not saying I'm as wonderful, but I have this because I was crying down there. I was so touched. And I'm going to cry right now. I'm sorry. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to meeting all of you.
One more time for All right, come on back here.
Okay, question time. Let's have some. Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me about anybody named Happy Chiu?
Can we tell you about
Happy
Happy
Chiu.
Chiu?
I went to school in Pace. I'm not gonna tell you about
There was a Happy Chiu.
it. But anyway, we had operettas. And I was a Christmas doll. And I was in a box. And Happy Chiu opened the box. And I came out. And we did a dance together.
Whoa. You did a dance with someone named Happy Chiu.
You know, somebody else brought, I think, is up there.
In Cleveland Crossing, I think.
Is that Happy? Well, you
Was
look
that-
younger than Happy M.
Happy M would be.
Happy M would have been 90, he'd be 90 something.
Yeah.
He passed away. Not Happy that was in our film.
Yeah, it wasn't
Happy
him in that
Chiu,
film,
yeah.
right? Does anybody know who he is? I don't know that name.
John Raymond may know, but he's not
Huh.
here.
We'll have to talk some more later.
Yeah.
That's a funny story.
I was in that store, Charlie Cooper's store. Lots and lots.
You were in charge of this store, my grandfather's store.
Yes, lots. And
Wow.
I remember seeing him in that wheelchair.
Yes.
Oh.
And
Yes.
KC was behind the meat counter.
Wow.
And they had wooden things that were open like black boxes. And all the potatoes, onions, apples, those things were in there.
Wow.
And the raisins looked like grapes.
The raisins look like
Those
grapes.
raisins look like great. So they're like dried on the vines and everything.
So
Wow.
when I sent my husband to get raisins to fix a stocking for my first child, he brought back a box. I said, that's not what I want. That's not raisins. So I have very, very fond memories.
Oh, thank you for sharing those memories. We'll have to talk some more later too. Wow, that's great. Thank you.
I think one thing, I'm Rachel Tate, I think one thing that makes me so proud to be from Pace, that we may have had a lot of problems, but in some things, even in those early days, we were very progressive, if not for all. But Pace was a place where the Chinese community was integrated into the school system. And when you couldn't go to school in Rosedale or couldn't go to school in Cleveland, families would send their children to Pace to go to school and stay with the different Chinese families in town because the school in Pace was inclusive.
Yeah, that's what
Not all,
Happy.
but Chinese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think my grandfather actually did, Casey Liu actually went to school there as well. What we did not put in the film, which is, maybe we'll release it someday if she's not looking, but she rapped I was in your house, I don't know if you remember.
It was a library.
You were rapping about being a librarian, and I was like, you want to come up here and do it? Right? No? I was just trying to embarrass her. But I got it on tape.
No, don't worry